thing to be done. Maybe we can put this up. Programming class has ended. Somebody tall enough like you, Melody. Not Joey. Joey is not tall.
Twice.
Who is tall in this class? Who is the tallest here? Giselle. Giselle should be the tallest. Yanko? Yanko, are you sure?
Yeah, Yanko's not showing.
I don't know. I think it's Giselle.
No, it's Yanko and then Alex and then...
No, it's Baggy. Baggy's tall.
No,
It's definitely not some people.
It's definitely not.
Like, it's definitely not Anika, it's definitely not Ansine, not Kelly, not Rita, not Jamila. What? In your dreams, you mean? Alright. Okay, listen. The sine rule and cosine rule worksheets are for practice and practice only. No need to return them to me. It's a good thing because you've started working on it, so that means you're practicing. Otherwise, nobody could practice anything, okay? So the sine and cosine rule are for practice only, no need to return them to me. If there is any worksheet before the sine and cosine rule that you think you're missing, please try to give it to me latest by Friday, like I said. Find me on the 3rd floor staff room. If you wish that I look at one of the questions in the sine and cosine rule, please let me know. Today will just be, you look at past questions, you have something not clear to you, today and tomorrow, that's what we're going to do, okay? Also, the topics that are not taught yet will not be included in your paper. So if you come across such questions in the past question, you are free to skip them for now, okay? So for example, probability, I know you've done a little bit of probability, but because we never mentioned it this year, I didn't include anything like that. So if you come up, excuse me, there was a post about what to study for. It called Study Guide. Did you see the post?
No.
Okay, congratulations. Did anybody see that post about Study Guide? Did you see the exception that I wrote in the post? All right, so I don't have a problem with you studying for everything. All right, so any question? Before we begin, yes.
Oh, before you begin, there's a difference.
Okay. Let's begin now. Questions? You have questions? Yeah, just hold on to your question. Now the problem is I left my bag of markers downstairs. Maybe we can take from Mr. Kim. Can anybody go to Mr. Kim's class and see? Do you want to go to Mr. Kim's class for us? Where are you going? You stood up like you were going. Elsie, can you try to go to Mr. Kim's class and see? Do you have marker with you? You were acting like you were going to get what we need.
It tells you.
You want me to do this? So I need to teach equality first. Let's do it. So one by one, please. Please take a seat. Please take a seat. Bayi, can you put this on? Let's take it on. This one. Quiet.
It's just a serious topic.
So I have two questions here. One is on variation and one is on upper and lower bound. If you couldn't get markers, maybe. This dude is wasting time.
Hey, let me go look at it.
You're wasting time. You're wasting time. Thank you. Okay, so the first question here is from, it looks like October, November 2018. Yeah, paper 2, October, November 2018. It says, y is inversely proportional to x cubed. So the first thing, remember this? Variation. So that's the first thing. Inversely, that's 1 over reciprocal. The next thing, does anybody remember the next thing I asked you to do here?
You turn the sign to equal sign.
You turn it to equal sign, and when you do that,
1 into
not that 1 turns into k, you multiply it by the constant of proportionality. So 1 is not changing to k. It's actually k times this fraction. And that's why it is k divided by that. Okay? So what's the next thing here?
Find k.
Yeah, we find k. Good. And we have been told usually k is the constant of proportionality or constant of variation. So basically, y will be equal to k times 1 over x cubed. That's how we got that. Okay? So you substitute when x is 2, y is 0.5. So that becomes 0.5 k divided by 2 cubed. So k will be 0.5 times 8, which is equal to 4. Which means this relation, it's actually y equals 4 divided by x cubed. Then you can answer the question. Oh, the question says find y in terms of x. That's the end. Okay? And it's 2 points. If I'm checking this, I need to see your workings before you get here. So you can't get your 2 points if you just write this. Oh, you do it in your head. I don't know what's going on in your head. Okay? So far, scientists are yet to develop how teachers can read students' mind. So until we have that invention, show me what you're thinking. Okay? Or you can, you guys are smart. Grow up fast, invent that so other students don't have to suffer what you're suffering right now.
You want them to suffer.
You want them to suffer. Then nobody needs to invent that. If anybody doesn't remember this, I don't know if we started making videos when we did this, otherwise go back to your notes and review how we did it. Because I can see some people are looking confused like they are hearing this for the first time. Are you seeing this for the first time?
Yes.
No, but seriously, are you seeing this for the first time?
No, but then
Then you have to check your notes. You have to check your notes. Quiet, please. The next question that follows is an upper and lower bound, which somebody has brought for us to check together. I need everybody to pay attention. This is one of the reasons many people don't remember this because nobody pays attention most times. Sophia has a barrel containing 6,000 milliliter of oil. Okay? Correct to the nearest 100. So if this is correct to the nearest 100, then it will be within what range?
6 at 5 die.
6. No, actually, what is 100 divided by 2?
50.
So you subtract 50 and add 50. Remember that? If you subtract 50, what do you have? 5, 9, 50 less than, this would be maybe a volume. We can call it volume, or you can call it X, whatever. And it's going to be less than, there's no equal to here. 6,6050. Right? Remember this?
Yes.
So you have to get the range, ml. Okay? That's the volume of that, or capacity, as some people might want to call it. She uses the oil to fill bottles which hold exactly 50 ml. So there are bottles that only hold 50 ml. Okay? So this was used to fill this. The question is calculate the upper bound of the number of bottles. Now forget about the fact that this is upper bound and lower bound. Answer. If I ask a question, you respond. Do not interrupt my explanation. Otherwise, I kick you out of the class. Okay? Forget the fact that this is upper and lower bound question. If the question says, oh, Sophia has 6,000 ml of oil in total, and she uses it to fill 50 ml bottles, how many bottles can we get? What would you do? So you do this divided by this, right? So good. So that's the same thing we're going to do. So then you think. Now this 50 ml, we have not been told if this is rounded. So let's assume it's not rounded. So if you want to get the upper bound of the number of bottles, you need to do your volume divided by, maybe larger volume divided by smaller volume, kind of. Do you get that? Now this is not a bound question. This is not told. We're not told this is rounded. So we can just assume this is just 50. Okay? If you want to get upper, this is constant, okay? You want to get upper bound. How do you get upper bound from your result?
Use the upper bound.
You use the upper to divide it. Because this is not changing. You've not been told this is rounded. You've not been told this 50 is rounded. But if the question says this is 50 ml to the nearest whole number, that's a different thing entirely. Then you can look at the range of this capacity as well. Okay? But this is a constant, 50 ml. So the upper bound will be definitely the upper divided by this. Does it make sense now?
Yeah.
So Candy should have been 6050 divided by 50. No, it's fine. Any other? Next question. Sorry. Just give me the question. Okay. Now we have a question here. It says m equals 2 cubed times 5. And the question is calculate 10m. What do we do? Substitute 10. So what does that give you?
No, 10 times into bracket.
Do we need bracket?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
We don't need bracket.
Why?
It's times. This is times, it's not plus. So this bracket is redundant. You know what redundant means? Useless, kind of. With or without it, we can survive. So this bracket is redundant. So how do we compute that?
I think 10, you write 10 equals
So this-
2 times 5.
So 2 cubed is what? Because the question never said in index form. So there's no need to break it down into 2 times 5. So just give a whole number. So this is 8 times 5, then everything becomes 400. Am I right?
Yeah.
Is the next question?
Yeah.
Is this my past test?
No. It was a worksheet.
That looks like my handwriting.
Yeah, it is. It's your work.
I gave you this as homework sometimes?
Like term one.
This much?
Yeah.
You
You also need these ones.
Yeah, first lesson.
You gave us like
It was
10,
a
you gave
lot.
us 5.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, next one. Now, this is the next question. It says express 10m as a product of primes. What does that mean?
You just draw. You break down.
What does product mean?
Product means times.
Times. So we want to see times. Primes. We want to see only prime numbers. That's what it means. Expressed as a product of primes. We want you to write it so that only prime numbers are multiplying each other. It's just English. Okay? Just convert the translation to Chinese and give me the best solution. But of course, don't write the solution in Chinese because I'll be confused. Alright, so if this is already 400, you could write the answer actually from here. That's when your 2 times 5 comes in. So you break this down, that's 2 times 5. This is already 2 in 3 places, 5. It never said in index form, but you can write it in index form if you like. So we have 2 in how many places? 4 and 5 in how many places? And if you are not okay with this,
Why would you write that?
but please don't tell me this or this. I'll cancel both. Thank you. Next question. Yes, ma'am. Oops. Sorry. No, let's take it one by one. Question 12. Giselle, I'll come back to you. Question 12 from, okay, listen. This question is from our, is it a test?
Yes.
Yeah, algebra test, Monday, the March 4th. Question 12. It says 12a. Question 12a says, Luke wants X goat and Y sheep. I don't know why he wants that. That's his problem. Anyway, Luke wants X goats and Y sheep. The first question is, he wants to buy at least 5 goats. Write down the inequality in X to represent this condition. At least 5 goats. What does the word at least mean? Larger or equal. At least. At the least. So this is like silent. At the very least. The minimum you can have is 5. So you can have 5 or you can have more. That's why it is greater than or equal to. Okay? The fact that it says least, some people might be tempted to write less because least looks like small. But at least, at the minimum, give me at least 50 MOP. So if you give me 40, I won't be happy with you. You said at least. You can decide to give me 1 million. That's at least 50. I only said do not go below 50. You can give me 50 billion. I'll take it. Alright. So, does that make sense why this is that? The next one says he wants to buy at least 11 sheep. Then this is easier. So at least 11 sheep will be what? Y greater than or equal to 11. Are we doing everything in 12? We won't be able to do this graph.
I just want to ask like the last question.
The first two.
No, the last one.
Oh, okay. Oh, so then I don't need to do all this. Okay, so the last question is C2. The last question is about what is the maximum number of animals that Luke can buy. We have, there's a graph that we plotted, and there are some boundaries. Okay, so I put the coordinates here. I did the correction here. So the coordinates in the inequality graphs are 5, 17.5. The coordinate for B is 18, 11. Quiet please. The coordinate for C is that. And the coordinate for D is this. The question is, what is the maximum number of animals? So the maximum we are talking about here is X plus Y. Number of animals will be number of goats plus number of sheep. Nobody's asking about expensive here. What is the maximum number of animals? No one is asking you what is the cost of whatever. It has nothing to do with cost. What is the maximum number of animals? So we are talking about maximum of X plus Y. If the question had said, oh, I will spend $2 on goats and maybe $5 on sheep, then hold on please, then we can talk about what is the maximum cost. What is the problem? What's the problem?
No, it says like how much a goat costs and a sheep costs.
I know we have that. That's what I'm saying. I'm giving you an instance. If the cost of goat is 5 and the cost of sheep is maybe 7, and we are talking about what is the maximum cost, then you can talk about 5x plus whatever y. But the question never talked about cost. The question is referring to the maximum number of animals. So the first thing on your mind is, what does a number of animals stand for in this case? What is the algebra representing number of animals? So we are talking about maximum of X plus Y, period. So you look at your coordinate and look at the one that gives you maximum X plus Y. And that's B, because that will be 29. Are you confused? Okay? C will have given you how many? D will have given you how many? What about A? So the maximum number of animals will be 29. It has nothing to do with 5x plus whatever y, if that is what some of... And I told you to write it out. Some of you, even Kelly, wrote something like A is equal to, A is not equal to. A coordinate, you can't write A is equal to. Just, I gave you in form of a table this way. Just right here, x plus y here will be 5 plus 17.5. And that is whatever. You do the second one, 18 plus 11, that's 29. You do the third, you do the fourth, then you write it in the space provided. Any questions? Next question, ma'am.
How do you do this?
And she has to, I'll be back, I'll come to you. Which question is that? Question 7. Attention please. You see, this is the problem. We're having a revision, and these are the things we learned months ago. And many of you are still murmuring, trying to joke with somebody beside you. You have like a last chance today and tomorrow to remember some stuff, and you still don't want to take it seriously. I don't get it. I don't. Or you think the exam is just about trig, and all the stuff you did this last month. No, it's everything since September. I never told you on the module post that, oh, it's just something you did in term 4. That's not the end of year exam anymore. End of year. It doesn't say end of term. Better get yourself together and start thinking right now. You have it on Friday. Question 7. Question 7 says, this is worksheet on functions given 1st of March. Question 7 says, for a particular function, f of 3 is 5, f of 5 is 9, and the function acting on 9 gives 3. And I said find. Specifically, I said without finding f inverse. Without you finding f inverse. I said, the first one, what is the f inverse of 3? The second, I'm asking what is the f inverse of 5? And the third, I'm asking what is the f inverse of 9? And I said without finding f inverse. Of course, there's no way you can find f inverse because you don't even know what f is. Okay? Nobody told you f is either linear, quadratic, cubic, exponential, trig function. Nobody cares what it is. But what we know is that if f acts on 5, it gives you, acts on 3, you get 5. Act on this, you get that. That's all we know. You can do this in form of, you can see it in the picture. So let's say this is the domain and the codomain, the input and set of input and output in your own language. So this is the f, coming back is the inverse. Going forward is the function. From input to output, that's the function. From output back to input, that's the inverse. What this means is that 3 is mapped to 5 somewhere. 5 is mapped to 9 somewhere. And 9 is mapped to 3 somewhere. This is what this thing means. Okay? Inputs, outputs. Well, it's not my fault, it's gravity. Now, the question is, what happens when you reverse it from the output of 3? What does it give you? So it's just from here. I told you before, if f of A is B, it means A is what? F inverse of B. This also looks like your sine, cos and tan. If sine theta is something, theta will be arc sine of that thing. All this is a reverse of an operation, of a function. Does it make sense? Similarly, if f inverse of 5, okay, look at what gives you 5 here.
3.
So when the inverse happens, what happens? What do you get?
3.
3. And similarly, this is what?
5.
5. Because this is from here. Okay? You don't need f, even if I give you f of x is equal to something, you don't need it. There you go. Next question will be from Giselle. One after the other.
So this 180 is from this triangle.
Okay.
Yeah.
This question is from Cosine Rule?
Yeah.
The Cosine Rule. Alright. From the latest worksheet, Cosine Rule. Some silence, please. You have this worksheet. It was just given yesterday. Question 2 on cosine rule. That's the question she's asking. We have a quadrilateral ABCD. It never said it's a parallelogram, so we cannot assume. But we know that angle ADC is 112. So let's put it this way. Just like she did it. Then B will be somewhere here. What we know is that this is 8, this is 10, this is 15, so it wouldn't go this way because it's going to look parallel, so I'm going to assume it goes farther, then this should be longer, something like that. Okay, let's pretend this is, it's not a trapezium, nobody said this is parallel. Does it make sense? So let's say that is a sketch of what we have. The question is, calculate angle ABC. This is angle ABC. This is what we're looking for. What else do we know? AB is 12, and this is 15, even though this doesn't look like it's 15. Anyway, let's assume it's 15.
DC.
Let me try to get a better stuff. So 15 will be longer. Maybe I can have something like this.
This is 19. 17 or 15. So 19 minus 17 minus 14 must be 14.
Okay, I think this is a better sketch. So the question is ABC. I need your attention. ABC, this dude right here. Any suggestions before I? You might need to. Thank you. You need to split it. How do we split? This way or this way? Two triangles. Which one is better? Like this?
Yeah.
D.
Okay. If we split it this way,
Yeah, I split this way.
what can we do with that? Do we know this?
No.
No. Wait, what?
Yeah, I think we do. Check. 8. Oh, great. It's done.
Yeah, we know.
So since we know this, we can get AC by what? What's that Pythagoras theorem?
Cosine rule.
Sine rule, cosine rule is when you cannot use Pythagoras theorem because you do not have a right angle triangle. Okay? So we use sine. Can we use sine rule for this? No. None of them is complete. Only cosine.
Yeah.
So after we know this, then we can use cosine again to get this, right?
Yes.
So just pretend this doesn't exist. You are dealing with triangle ADC. So find your AC. Okay? I don't even need to find AC. I'll find AC squared. Because I need the same AC squared. So there's no need to find square root and get the decimal and approximate. Do you understand my point? Okay. So this is how I would do this. From triangle ACD. Because there are two triangles now. So I'm being specific. Okay? From triangle ADC, what is this called? D squared. Can you state the cosine rule for me, please?
D squared
A
equals
squared
A squared plus C squared
Plus 2AC
minus 2AC cos
D.
Good. Okay? Then we substitute. Our D squared, I'm going to write it as AC squared now. Okay? What is my A squared? I'm talking to people. What is my A squared?
A squared is
8.
8. No,
What's my C squared?
8 squared.
You are meant to do this with me, Alex. And everybody else not paying attention. 2 times 10 times, cos what? 112. Then this is 100, this is 64, this is 160. What is cos 112? Like that. So we can multiply this together. Calculator, please.
About 223.9.
Again?
About 223.
I don't want about. What does the calculator say? If you are not reading from the calculator, don't say a word. Calculator, please. Anybody, please? You have a calculator with you, don't you?
223.9.
It's 59.9.
Minus
59.9. Yeah, 59.
But that's an average.
You can't have 59.
Negative 59.
So why did you leave the negative out?
Because you were put the negative. So.
You think I put the negative?
It's negative 4
It's already
so it's like positive.
Oh.
There's a negative here already.
Yeah, so negative 59.9.
Give me 4 decimal places.
93705.
Like that?
Yeah.
No.
9370.
So 7171.
So 71, yeah.
Point what again, please?
Point